Hi, I'm Kimberly Jolly from the Fat Quarter Shop, and Sherri McConnell of A Quilting Life is here today to guide us through Block 4 of the Bella Skillbuilder Quilt. Use a 2.0 stitch length and press according to the pattern.
Okay, we're going to make the flying geese blocks for the Bella Skillbuilder quilt, and we're going to begin with a white background square, A, and a lagoon square, B. And we're going to begin by drawing some lines so that we can sew them together. We're going to draw a diagonal line. We're going to use our friction pen. We're going to draw a diagonal line.
So you're drawing it in the center from corner to corner?
From corner to corner. Then we're going to place the 1/4 inch mark on the ruler on that drawn line and draw another line. This will be one of our stitching lines. And then we're going to flip it and do another line 1/4 inch away from that center line. So the two outer lines will be the sewing lines, and we will be sewing on those lines. We're going to center the lagoon square on the white square, and there's a little bit of play in here, so you can eyeball it. It doesn't have to be perfect, but just try to get it centered. Then we're going to put a couple pins in so we can keep it together while we sew. We're going to sew on these two outside lines, and we'll have a piece that looks like this. And the next step is to simply cut them apart, and you can just cut right on the drawn line in the center, not the one that you stitched on. And that will give us two different units. We're going to press both of them toward the dark fabric.
And this is how they're going to look, and you'll make a total of 6.
Okay, the next step is to take the two units that we just created, and we're going to place them right sides together. This is a little bit tricky. Make sure you don't nest the seams. We're going to place them right sides together. We're going to line up the outer edges.
And you can see that they don't touch,
right,
and you've got opposing colors touching.
Right, and there's going to be kind of a gap in the middle. And once we do that, we are going to sew these using the same technique we just used. We're going to draw a diagonal line down the center, draw a line 1/4 inch on either side, and sew on the two outer lines.
And you want to remember to sew the opposite direction of your seams, and that's an easy way to remember that step.
Yes.
And once you sew, this is what it's going to look like.
We'll have a unit like this.
And you can kind of see that you're getting this kind of look.
Right. Okay, so the next thing to do is to cut these apart right down the center, just like we did earlier. And that's going to give us two units that look like this.
And then how are we going to press this?
Okay, so for pressing, we're actually going to trim about at the midway point, just right up into the seam allowance, so that both of the darks can be pressed out. So we're going to, so that our dark triangle lies flat.
We're going to make 6.
Okay, now we're going to use the Quilt in a Day small flying geese ruler to trim our geese blocks. And there's a triangle in the center of the ruler. You're just going to line that up right on top of the triangle. And you can trim up one side, across, and that gives you a perfect flying geese unit. You can then use the ruler and trim up the other side of your block in the same way. This is a great technique because it gives you perfect sized finished flying geese. And then you are going to go ahead and you will make 12. Okay, now we're going to take the flying geese units and we're going to put them in groups of 4 and sew them together into our blocks. We will be pressing these seams open and we will make 3 blocks.
That's all for this month. Come back next month for our next Skill Builder block. See you then.